Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today I have some very exciting things that I'm doing. I did a video just before this one where I tasted the tomatoes that I had grown indoors and kind of made the judgment on whether I wanted to grow them in AeroGarden or pots. And so if you want to know the answer to that, you can look at the video that I did before. And now I am outside today. I have a ton of cabbage and cauliflower, kohlrabi, kale. I have a bunch of starts that need to go into the garden. It's one of the first really beautiful days. We don't have a lot of real freezing weather coming up. But first thing I needed to do, I need to move one of the layers of my hoop houses. And I started doing that and realized maybe I needed to film the process so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So let me show you how this hoop house works. So the first thing that I did is remove the plastic. It's folded up over there. I keep my plastic on with these clamps. There are the clamps on the ground. And I clamp them down near the bottom. And then to hold the frame in place, I have these little connectors. They're for patio furniture, I guess, that you can make out of PVC pipe. I don't know who would want to make patio furniture out of PVC pipe, but that's what they were labeled as. And my 1/2 inch pipe goes into the 3/4 inch hole, and it just works like that. Now to make sure this whole thing doesn't blow away with the wind, I drilled holes through the bottom of this one and put in a stake. Then the PVC pipe goes over the stake and the whole thing stays put. So now I'm going to disassemble it and take it up to where I'm going to plant my cole crops. There we go. Now we have just a single hoop house right here. The other hoop house has been disconnected. Let me show you where I put it. This is where we're going to be putting our cauliflower. I went a little bit overboard. I thought I was going to get rid of some, but I can't bear to, so we're going to plant them. So all of this is cauliflower, and then we have some kohlrabi right here on the edges. They're a little bit more cold tolerant. We are going to have temperatures in the upper 20s tomorrow night, so I'll just cover this in plastic. Or maybe I'll just cover the cauliflower in a floating row cover. We'll see. But you can see we put the stakes in, pounded them in there pretty solid. Wind is definitely not going to be taking this away. And we'll put the frame over the top of that. This is where we're going to be putting cabbage and some more kohlrabi. We have some survivors. This is chard. You can see the little green down there. They're going to grow up and flower, and I'm just going to let them flower. We have some experimental garlic in there. Then we've got some more kohlrabi, chijimisai, some Swiss chard, and some spinach in here, and we left a spot open for something else. So let's get planting. Now this bed does not need any amending. I amended it all in November. I threw down fertilizer and I threw down my homemade compost. It's also had the leaves and grass over the top. I'm not going to mix it in or anything, I'm just going to plant through it. So let's get planting. These plants should also be okay once it gets cold because they have been outside for the last week and it has hit the upper 20s and they've been fine. The hoop house is all put together, and all of my spring veggies are planted. We've got these guys on the outside because they're a little more hardy. The garlic is all coming up. It's looking great. We've even got our little specialty garlics poking through. These were given to me by a friend to trial and see if we like them. There's my cabbages. I'm going to throw floating row cover over these when it gets cold. We've got some chard, spinach, some kohlrabi, and chijimisai all through here. We left a little space for maybe some carrots, not too many. And then if you look really carefully, we have some lettuce coming up from when I from the seed that I planted a little while ago. We also, if you can see that right there, we have some peas coming up. There's a few more right here. So even though it got cold, it was okay to put those out. They're still sprouting. So thank you for coming with me on this adventure. I'm really excited to have all my stuff growing and having more harvest this year. And I hope that you're having fun in your garden too. Just let me know what you're growing and what your projects are for this year. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful garden adventure.